Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to say selamat datang di Museum PETA Pembela Tanah Air. Let's mean welcome to PETA Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nurul Fitriani. You can call me Nui, November Ultra Yankee, or Rule, Romeo Ultra Lima for short. And I will in charge as your tour guide. And I will deliver the information and showing you about the historical side of this museum related with the Independent Republic of Indonesia. This museum have two separate area. The first is Sudirman area and the second is Supriyadi area. This museum also have 14 diorama historical. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are in front of this building. Long story short, in 1975, this is a mess as living house of colonialism general. Since 14 November 1993, this building became a museum and a monument that have purpose to give the respect and honorable sense to the Indonesia Army who fighting for Indonesia. And so we move to this big stone. This is the sign official from General Suharto. He used to be a second president of Indonesia, and for the writing of this town is Pembela Tanah Air ini jiwa keprajuritan nasional Indonesia. So it's mean PETA is the soul of soldier of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the big statue of General Sudirman, the greatest commander of Indonesia, the religion and the strong man who was born in 24 January 1916 in Bodas Karangjati, bravely against the colonialism. And the fact of him, he always have ablution. We call it gantung wudu, so he never in the impure condition. And the next is Sudanko Supriyadi. Is it the pioneer of PETA revolution in Blitar? He is the first minister of defense Indonesia, but unfortunately at the time for inaugurate he was gone. There's no clue, there's no excuse, and there's nobody know about condition of him. So now Supriyadi is the hero without the ulterior motive. We go to the inside. At the struggle era Indonesia independent, homeland fighter PETA Pembela Tanah Air is the power military that Indonesia have an important role to revolution the colonialism and become the nationality army of Indonesia. PETA have a character never give up, willing sacrifice without ulterior motive, that they only have one mission to make Indonesia freedom from colonialism. This is the relief of figure PETA, first General Sudirman, General Ahmad Yani, Umar Hadi Wirakusuma, and the last is Lieutenant Edi Wibowo. PETA have a purpose to make an exercise and a program to young people regarding maklumat Osame Seirei number 44. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Supriyadi area. This is the first diorama. Tell about the agreement of figure established the PETA such as Insinyur Soekarno, Muhammad Hatta, Ki Hajar Dewantara, Ki Ajeng Surya Mataram Mangku Projo, Kiai Mas Mansur, and the last is Mr. Agus Salim on 3rd October 1943. And next diorama is it for the exercise in here around 3 months half, and for the location in here right now they are still use it. We call it Pusdiksi, Pusat Pendidikan Zeni. And the exercise as going in that area. So after the exercise during 3.5 months, they going back to their origin, Bali, Jawa, Madura, and they help the recruitment and the coaching about new army. For the first graduate is Mr. Supriyadi and Mr. Masudi, described in the third diorama. And next is fourth diorama. Is it the first revolution in Blitar, 14 February 95, leading by Sudanko Supriyadi. Sudanko is mean lieutenant, and he did because he feel guilty about Indonesian people that have miserable life in Japan area. He arranged this revolution because wants Indonesia freedom with the colonialism. After the first revolution, that PETA army betrayed in Jakarta, we call it Tipu Muslihat Kolonel Kartagiri. Kartagiri is the Japanese colonial army, and he promised to did not disarm the PETA army, but he killed the Muradi and another PETA army, described on the 5 diorama. And next, the accident of Rengas Dengklok. This is the agreement between the young people such as Suhud and Latif with the old people such as Insinyur Soekarno and Muhammad Hatta to urging the accelerate Indonesia independent, because on that time Indonesia in the vacuum of power, and it's mean Japan going back to their country to arraign about the second war. Ladies and gentlemen, next this is the 7th diorama telling about the Independent Day of Indonesia on 17 August 1945. So Indonesia declared day on Proclamation, and you know what, ladies and gentlemen, only one night stand that young people and old people during the prepare of it, such as the proclamation and the flag of nationality of Indonesia. So next we're going to the Sudirman area. This is the next diorama telling about becoming nationality army. Yeah, PETA join up the defense of this country, and the ceremonial for this held by Insinyur Soekarno, the first time that he becoming a first president of Indonesia. Next is it the 9th diorama telling about the announcement for all people that Insinyur Soekarno held it in the Ikada yard, because on that time there is no media electronics such as television, cell phone, or anything about the broadcast like nowadays. So they unite in the Ikada yard. And next, 10 diorama is it telling about the accident revolution Usai Butai in Kota Baru. The leader is Mr. Suharto. Mr. Suharto fight with the Japan army to conquer the weapon, and also the weapon becoming a collection in this museum, around 300 weapon in here. Gentlemen, next telling about the beginning of PETA as the official army of Indonesia, that Japan give the base military in Malang to PETA, and is it leader by Mr. Abdurrahman Saleh. He visit and fix the operation of Air Force, Marine, and another vehicle on that. So the name of him, Abdurrahman Saleh, becoming the international airport in Malang nowadays. And next, in the 12th diorama, this is the important day of Indonesia on 10 November 1945, because it is the big battle between Japan and Indonesia people. Oh yeah, we call it in Hero Days. Ladies and gentlemen, next 11 diorama telling about Indonesia Army Infantry on 15 December 1945. We call it Palaga Ambarawa. Is it the battle between TKR and the Isle of Britannia? Although Indonesia already have the independence, but Britannia wants Indonesia back. So this is we call it Hari Juang Kartika. And next, this is the last diorama telling about the election that TKR held. Is it the high level conference? Choose Mr. General Sudirman becoming a new commander and new leader of it. And for the previous occupied by Mr. Supriyadi as the commander. And gentlemen, after we see the diorama of this museum, we going to the collection of it. This is the uniform for PETA Army, and the level of it, there are Sudanko, Dedanko, and Chudanko. The high level is Sudanko. And next is it the figure of PETA, the general, and there is a navigation tool and also weapon that PETA Army get from the Kartabutai in Kota Baru. And this is also have a new the newspaper historical telling about the PETA revolution and about the independence of Indonesia. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we move a little bit to this section? This is Katana Wars. This is the weapon of PETA Army. And this is the real one that museum have. And this is belong to Mr. Surjo Keri. He have a level in Sudanko. And actually the katana is really sharp because we learn military by Japanese, so we use the sword to do the exercise and the program. And Mr. Suharjo Keri is a Sudanko, works on Kediri base. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to next section. This is the unique collection of this museum because is it really closer with the General Sudirman. So this is the replica sketcher of him, the greatest commander of Indonesia. Actually, in the during era independent Indonesia, he is not in the young anymore, so he need the sketcher. In Indonesia, in bahasa we call it tandu. He need tandu to go some places or somewhere, and the tandu is only one person, really small. And actually this sketcher, the replica, is it not the real one, because the real one in the General Sudirman Museum. Ladies and gentlemen, after we see the structure of General Sudirman, we're going to the outside. This is the monument of General Sudirman, official on 18 December 1995 by Mr. Suharto. And behind the monument, there are a relief the journey historical of PETA, and around 1,609 fighter PETA lists on it. And this area telling about all of historical moment in PETA. And now we are in the end of guide for PETA Museum. Me as your tour guide, Norofitriani SY, wanna say thank you, and thank you so much for everything. Bye, see you.